Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in with Learning with Jelly. So, today we are on lesson 4 of the second module, and we're going to talk all about indexing strings. Now, in the previous video, we discussed what strings are. They are a type of data in Python that is surrounded by single or double quotes, and now we're going to start working with these strings. So, our agenda for today is that we're going to define a Python collection. We're going to define exactly what indexing is and practice indexing strings and slicing them. And I also want you to know this dot index method that I'm going to introduce at the end of the video. So, what are collections in Python? So, collections in Python are containers for storing data that make up smaller individual pieces. So, it's kind of like parts of a whole. So, examples are strings because strings are a collection of characters. They are made up of letters or they're made up of numbers or special characters, and you can break it down. Also, more commonly, lists, dictionaries, arrays, etc., are also considered collections. And because strings are collections, they can be indexed. So, what do we mean by indexing? So, indexing is going to be finding the position of a specific element in a collection. So, say for instance, we have the string jelly and we want to find the position of J. We can do that. So, you can call the number of the position you want that's surrounded by brackets. So, when we're talking about indexing, we are talking about brackets. So, you can pair indexing with slicing to take out a group of elements from a collection. So, say for instance, I wanted to slice off the email address after the at symbol. So, I want to get rid of the gmail.com or the yahoo.com and just keep the username before the at symbol. That's very common. I can slice that string to just pull out that piece that I'm interested in. And it's very important to know that in Python, indexing starts at 0. So jelly, the J in jelly would be considered the 0th index. The E would be the first L would be the second, and so forth. And you're going to see an example of that. So index the string Winnie the Pooh. So in this case, we want to find the first index in the string below. So in this case, notice I said first index and not first element, a little play on words, but the first index, I want the index to be 1. But if I wanted to find the first element, such as the capital W, I would want the index to be 0. So I have the object name assigned to the string Winnie the Pooh. The first index is going to be that I that we have right there. And so in this case, W is 1, W is 0, the I is 1, the first end is 2, the next one is 3, and so forth and so forth. So in this case, when we do 1, it prints off an I. What if I change this to 0? It should print off the 0th index, which is the W. And what if I change this to, let's say, 4? So we have 0, which is the W, I, which is the 1, this one is the 2, this one is the 3, this one is the 4th index. So it should print us off an I. Awesome. So, with that being said, it wants us to know to find the 7th element, and spaces do count, okay? So, this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5. This space is 6, so that means the 7th element should be 7. And notice that I'm keeping it inside that square brackets. I'm just calling the object and grabbing the index that I want. You can also do negative indexing and start from the ends of the string. So remember, we have Winnie the Pooh. So a -2 index would be that O. And let me just type it up here as a comment so you can see that. Winnie the Pooh, right? So in this case, this is the first and this is the second. So the -2 would produce an O. Now we can get into slicing. And slicing is what you want to start with and then one past the index you want to end on. So it's up to, but not including the second element or the second index. So let's see what I'm saying. So in this case, I have an email, janedoe@gmail.com, and it starts at the 0th index and it's going to end at the 3rd because it's up to but not including the 4th index. So in this case, this is the 0th index, the A is the 1st, the N is the 2nd, and the E is the 3rd, and the D is the 4th. So it's going to be up to, but not including the D here. So now when I run it, I just get out Jane. Now, this is the most complicated thing for people to remember since indexing started at 0. And when you're doing slicing, that means you're grabbing a piece, a section straight from your string. Okay, so now we want to extract Jane Doe. So we're going to type that email object, and in brackets, we want to see all the way to the @ symbol because it's going to be up to but not including the @ symbol. So I have 0, the A is 1, the N is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So I'm going to want to go from 0 to 7, one pass where I want to stop at, and then I get out Jane Doe. So last but not least, the index method. So the index method can be added to return the position of the character that was encountered first, reading from left to right. It is case sensitive. So in this case, if we want to find the letter P in the variable below, we can call the dot index method, and methods are going to have closing parentheses at the end, followed by the object. So I want to find the capital P, and it's going to tell me that it is at the 11th position. Okay. Now, say for instance, I want to find the letter N, and it's always going to stop at the first encounter of that. So in this case, I have 2 N's. It's going to return the index of the first N that it encounters. So I can call name.index, and in this case, single quotes, a lowercase n, and it's found at the 2nd position. So index can kind of give you a feel of where things are at if you're searching for something particular. So in summary, this one was a little long. Collections are groups of elements stored in a container. Strings are collections, and because they are collections, they can be indexed. You can also slice a group of elements from a string. So you can slice a group of characters straight out of the string that you're talking about. And you can use the dot index method to return the number of a position of a specific element that you want to find. So that is all. Thank you for tuning in to Learning with Jelly. And we're going to continue to go into strings in the next video. Thank you so much. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye-bye.